This is she.
My name is Alicia Welch. I'm calling from the Office for Civil Rights about a complaint you filed with us.
Oh, yes. Hi.
How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good. A quick question. In your complaint, it was filed on May 25th, you said that you were being retaliated against for filing another federal complaint.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put a number of 166233.
That was the original tracking number of that complaint.
I'm pulling up that number in our system, and I'm coming up with a different case.
And what's the case you're coming up with?
It's a HIPAA complaint case filed by another individual.
Okay, this was with the Department of Justice.
It was with DOJ. It wasn't with us.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So
okay.
That's why. Yeah, that was filed back in 2001. That it started, and then I had other complaints that went after that. I kept sending that.
With DOJ.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Department of Justice, FBI, criminal section. Yeah. Okay, and are you the person handling my complaint?
Yes.
Okay, what was your name again?
Alicia Welch.
Alicia Welch. And do you have an email address or a way I can contact you easily, or?
Sure. Do you have a pen?
Yes.
My email address is Alicia, ALISHA, Welch, WELCH,
at
HHS.gov.
Okay. And you have the May 23rd complaint, and you're calling me from the headquarters?
No, I'm calling from the regional office. Our office is in Philadelphia.
Okay. All right, so ALISHA.WELCH at HHS.gov, and you are assigned as the investigator?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and are you going to get back to me to find out more information, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought your complaint was pretty clear other than that.
Okay.
Than that, thing about the previous complaint, so I didn't really have any other questions. But if you have anything you think you should tell me, we can talk about that now.
Okay. I have to go back. And that particular complaint is the one against the EMT, Tolan Butler.
Right.
Yeah. That. Do you need the complaint I sent to the FBI about that, or do you? Are you gonna? I mean, I have a lot of information. I mean, we're going to be on the phone for quite a while if I tell you everything. You know. So, do you want?
Okay. Well, is there anything in? I mean, your complaint was pretty thorough.
Yeah.
So I don't. What other information do you have?
Well, I have details about the other complaint and how it's related to this, and what the similarities are to the ill use that I got from this particular guy, and the fact that they didn't answer me. They didn't answer me. It's a simple issue of correcting a record, and that I have tape recordings actually that Anita Massengale, our conversations, the conversation with United Medical Center. I don't know how.
Okay. Well, I mean, just looking at the surface of your complaint, you're alleging discrimination, but there's nothing in your complaint that alleges that they were doing this because of your race.
No, not because of my race. I don't know why they did it. It could have been because of my race, because I live in a black neighborhood.
You only have jurisdiction to investigate complaints based on race or disability or gender.
I am a disabled person.
But you're not alleging that they did this because you were disabled.
Well, let's put it this way. The complaint with the Department of Justice, I was ill-used because I was disabled, and that type of thing kind of carries over. It's part of the ill-use I got there. I had been ill-used because I was disabled because I filed a disability claim, and the insurance company that I filed it with was one with my employer, and they was called TransGeneral, but I think their group was, I don't know, they wanted a Highmark or something like that, but the particular part of the umbrella at that time was called Transgeneral, Highmark probably, with a slash or something like that. But anyway, that insurance company harassed me during the time that I was on disability. They never sent me to their doctors to...
But that's not going to have anything to do with the EMS company, which is your complaint is again.
Well, the thing is, if their behavior was such, and it was, that they went everywhere and told people I was on disability. I mean, they invaded my privacy, not only by telling people my particular business and getting everybody possibly involved. I mean, to watch and do other things, to harass me. Then this particular thing is kind of along the lines of what they got other people to do. So,
okay, that's a very attenuated claim of, I mean, we're not people show that's because of disability. I mean, you're really stretching it there, and you can't really go get a complaint.
Well, what you're looking at is, for instance, if a handicapped door is not in use, is not enabled,
and that's
because
not
of
what we're limited to, but you're not really alleging anything that says that the EMS didn't bring you to the hospital that you wanted because you're disabled.
It's not that they didn't bring me to the hospital that I wanted. They brought me to the hospital that I specifically said I didn't want to go to, even though I said that, and without telling me they were going there anyway.
There's still no evidence they did that because you're disabled. They did it because it was their policies.
No, it's not their policy, though.
So it's for some other reason, but nothing suggests they did that because you were disabled.
Well, I don't know. You would have to,
And we can't just take any complaint without any kind of, prima facie case of this because of disability.
Well, you would have to, the fact that they could have done it because I filed a disability claim in the past, and certain behaviors.
Did you file it against them?
No, this is an EMT agent.
Oh.
This is an EMT who did this. I didn't file against them. I filed a disability claim in the past for myself because I had become injured while I was working, but not at work. And this disability company was angry that it wasn't a workers' comp claim. It happened to be personal claim.
Nothing to do with the EMT.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the EMT. I didn't file this.
How can we allege a complaint against saying the EMT is this because you filed some complaint when the EMT...
Okay, but I understand better. When you say the disability discrimination has to consist of, what you're saying is, it has to consist of that, for instance, there's no handicap, I'm going to simplify it so that I understand it. There's no handicap door, and they won't put one in. I'll say they're discriminating against me because I'm disabled because that's a reasonable accommodation. And so, but if there is a handicap door and somebody disables the door to retaliate against me because the disability company that...
But that's not what you're claiming, that the EMT is retaliating against you for filing a complaint that had nothing to do with them.
It had nothing to do with them except if that individual was asked to do that, to behave that way, because that behavior is out of the clear blue.
It's your own.
Yeah, well, that needs investigation. It would need investigation. I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure. I would be able to tell you some of the...
For us to investigate.
I'm sorry?
There's not enough facts here for us to investigate. You haven't laid out anything that suggests discrimination here.
Okay, I'm going to look it over and see if there's anything that I should tell you that I may have overlooked telling you.
Okay.
And I will get back to you. Is there a certain amount of time you need to hear from me before you close your case, or are you going to close it, or what? How does that work?
No, I would probably close it. If you have more information for me in the next week or so, I can look at it. But.
Okay, next week or so. Okay, let me do that, and I will send you. Maybe I'll send you what I sent the FBI, because that might give you. See, I try to omit criminal stuff, because what they did, they basically took me where I told them I didn't want to go, and there was no need. I had stroke symptoms, and I personally actually thought that you guys handled HIPAA violations and, you know, the...
I didn't really see any HIPAA allegations in your complaint. We can talk about those if you want to pursue a HIPAA complaint.
Do you handle that?
We do, yes.
Okay, so I have to look and see what else, what kind of HIPAA violations do you, just the other people, for instance, they have a misrepresentation on my record. I have not been able, they were going to change the record. When I asked them to, you know, I complained about this particular guy, this EMT, and I said, you know, he has misrepresentation on my record. And I said, I want to change that to what I called in stroke symptoms. I didn't call in what he put there. He left out stuff about the stroke symptoms that would have endangered me, you know, and he put in something entirely unrelated to what I called about. I wanted that record changed. And they were going to change it, and then all of a sudden they turned around. When I asked them, you know, the form with the information on it has all sorts of coded, you know, questions and answers. Some of them you could tell, you know, name, address, whatever. But other things have like specific coded information that you have to kind of know the job to know what those are. And if I'm asking them to change the record to something accurate or something like that, I need to know what those coded information, what Charlie means and all this type of stuff, or I have to know what those things mean for me to be able to say, well, that's not the case, or that's correct, or that's not the case. So when I asked that, they refused to answer me.
Okay, well, for HIPAA, you have a right to what's called an amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Your medical records, if you think that something in your medical record is not correct. What we would do is we can't make any determination of whether your medical records are correct or not. We don't have, you know, the knowledge to do that, but we can look at how they handled your request for an amendment and if they responded to it in the way that they're required to under HIPAA.
They didn't do it the way they required to. I don't know what HIPAA says, but if they're required to respond in some way.
Did they provide you a written explanation of why they weren't amending the records?
No.
Okay, then that would be something that we could investigate. What I would ask you to do is email me information about that, because right now your complaint is in as a civil rights complaint, and I would have to give it a new number just because of the way our system works. To process it as a HIPAA complaint.
Okay.
So if you want to email me that information, I can put that in as a new complaint.
What would I email you? Just an explanation or just the actual emails that I sent without a response?
Both would be great, actually.
Okay. How big do you, I mean, you know, if I send you information like that, like attachments and stuff like that, how big is your email? What you would, I mean, will it bounce back, or how big do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll try it, and if it bounces back, I'll have to separate the documents.
I mean, a couple emails or more than one, that's not a problem. I can consolidate them.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes the document is kind of big. I don't know if any of these are, but I've done that where I've had to, like, actually split a document from page 1 to 5 and then from page 6 to 8, you know.
Okay, I mean, I've gotten things with a couple hundred pages.
Yeah, I don't think I'll give you a couple hundred pages, but what I'm sending you is the issue of them not responding appropriately to, because what I wound up doing is I went through whatever the proper channels. They were just interested in if I was going to sue them. I went over that person's head because she was bothering me, actually. She said she wanted everything in writing, but when she wanted to find out what she needed to find out, she would call me. And she really just, the whole issue of this guy taking me to the hospital when I asked him not to take me there, because what I'm saying is he needed to give me a choice. If he was going to take me to United Medical Center, and I had just finished telling him I didn't want to go there, and because they don't do strokes the way other hospitals do. I said, all you got to do is tell me, because then I'll go someplace else. You know, I'll go myself. You don't have to take me in there. I can choose to do that. That's my decision. And because if I go there and waste time, you know, going to the place where they don't have what they need, they have to transfer me somewhere else. It's the same amount of time wasted as if I get in a cab or something, you know, or just wait till the morning and go to another hospital. That's easier for me to get on by public transportation if I can't get a cab. So that part, she was concerned only about protecting this guy, and she would call me inappropriate. She called me inappropriate at least once to get information, and all she was a lawyer and a nurse at the same time. That was her position.
Okay.
When I couldn't get through with her, to get that stuff, when I saw what she was doing, that she really didn't have my interest at heart or even just justice, I went over her head, and the guy was, I think his name was Gerald Cole. I don't know what his position was, but he was over her. And he was the one who said they would correct the record. And I said, okay, I need to look through my things to make sure that I give you all the information that should have been on there. But then I needed to know what their forms meant. They have, EMT forms when you have an ambulance thing. They have all sorts of codes that you don't know what they're talking about. And they have answers that are also coded that you can't guess what the question was, what the answer was. And there's a lot of that. And I said, just tell me what those things mean so that I could, while I'm correct, if I'm going to correct it, I'm going to correct the whole thing and make sure that this is correct. And so then he never answered me. I called a few all around to find out who was over his head. Kenneth Ellerby was over his head at this particular, in this state, in the District of Columbia. So I called there, and I found out his email. I gave him the information. He acted like he couldn't understand what I'm saying, and which I don't know what there isn't to understand. I just asked you the questions, what do they mean in plain English? The answers, what do they mean in plain English, except for things like my address and my insurance and stuff like that, that's obvious, And wouldn't answer, and he's been fired now. Some guy died in front of their thing.
When you send me those emails, I'm going to need a new consent form from you as well, and send you one of those as well.
Okay, new consent form. Okay, the statute of limitations, because I filed it on the 23rd, which is the 6 months from the date, my last email to Ellerby that he didn't answer. And I gave him one last chance because, that's work for me. I'm disabled. I can't be.
Most of the time I'm going to say that would be something I'm going to have to discuss with my supervisor so we can look into it.
Okay, because I met the deadline. It's just, if you're still the one who's going to investigate it, you're going to give them another number. But I emailed and faxed it on May 23rd.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Okay, so all right. So I will get you this information in terms of the disability discrimination issue. I'm going to look over what I gave to the criminal section and the FBI and see if there's anything there that would fit into your thing. And if it doesn't, I guess it's not one of those issues. I'll look at that too. And then if there's anything else, then you could tell me. I'll continue giving you information. Because when you get the information I give you, you may want more information. Because I'm going to try and limit it to what you're asking, but I'll tell you there's more there is in terms of those things. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
You too. This is Alicia Welsh from the OCR office about the May 23rd complaint, and about July 11 and 8, 12:32 p.m., July 31st, 2014.